Have you ever played with like building blocks or Legos or something like that? One of the things I've noticed about those kinds of things, building blocks and Legos, is you can snap them together one way and make like a castle, or snap them together another way and make like a rocket or something else, right? Maybe a car. You can snap them together in all kinds of ways. They're really basic building blocks that we can use in lots of ways. Well, in the world of art, there happens to be this many, can you see my number? 7 building blocks of art. They are the 7 things that artists like you put together in special ways. You snap them together to make different kinds of artworks, okay? Sometimes, like one of them in particular is only used in sculpture pretty much. But others, like the ones that I'm going to talk to you about right now, are used in all artworks. And we're going to start with the first one. Put your finger in the air. And remember your starting place, okay? Remember where you're starting and move away from that starting place. You just drew something. Starts with an L. What's it called? Line. You drew a line. Now this time, instead of drawing a straight line, why don't we draw like how about a wavy line? Start, wavy line. There you go. Finger in the air. Start. Zigzag. Zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. There you go. Different kinds of lines, right? Now you might notice that every time we drew a line, we started at one place and we ended at a different place. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Ready? Watch me. Now what if I do this? See if you recognize this one. Ready? Watch. I'm going to start here. Watch what I'm doing. It's in the air, so it's kind of hard to imagine, but here it goes. Did I finish where I started?
Yeah.
I didn't draw a line then. That was a special thing that's made from a line, but when I come back to where I start like this, you called it a circle. A circle is a shape. Watch this shape. Okay, ready? Watch. Starting here. What did I make?
Triangle.
Another shape. Is it a line?
Yeah.
Not really. It's made from a line, but it's a shape. If you come back to where you start, you're making a shape. I'll show you one more. See if you can spot this one. Ready?
Square. Square.
I came back to where I started, so it was a square. It's a shape, okay? So remember I told you about those building blocks that we snap together in different ways?
Yeah.
The first one is line, and the second one is shape. Line and shape. Those are the first 2 building blocks that artists like you use to make art, and we're going to use those things in our art project as well. So I just want to do a little test here with you and see if you can see which one I'm doing, okay? Show me the American Sign Language for L, for line. Show me an L, show me an L, show me an L. I'm just going to do a little check for understanding here. Just one L, that's all I need. Now S is kind of like a closed hand, but you have to put your thumb in the front, otherwise it's an A. So put your thumb in the front and hold up this. This is the letter S. Show me an S. So if I show you a line, what are you going to show me? An L. If I show you a shape, what are you going to show me? S, where this is a shape. Are you ready? Here I go. Watch what I do. Show me. What was that one? Show me.
Circle.
Okay. So I see some of you thought I came back to where I started because some of you are saying it's a shape. Watch again. I did this. Did I come back to where I started?
No.
Tricky one. That was an L. That was a line. Okay, ready? Here, I'll do another one.
Square. Square.
You see how I came right back to where I started?
Yeah.
That made that a shape, okay? Now I was working with some kindergartners just yesterday, and they were doing some artworks, and this is part of one of their artworks. Let me show it to you. So it was a bigger artwork than this, but they were right in here, and they wanted to color right inside this space here. But when they started coloring in here, did their colors start to escape and go out here?
Yeah.
There's nothing to stop them there. So what they decided is if they took that line and they closed it up like this, you see the red where they closed it up? What do? They just turned their line into a shape. And now when they color with red in there, is it going to stay inside?
Yeah.
There's why lines and shapes are really important to understand the difference. If it's a shape, the color stays inside. If it's a line, the color's going to escape. So in this project, you're going to make art, but you're going to make it in a very different way. You might be used to making art all by yourself, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to work that way. You're going to work with somebody else, but you're never going to know who it is until the very end. It's a secret art partner. You saw that book, Drawn Together? Remember that one? Yeah. Well, there they were working, the boy and his grandfather, they were working right next to each other, right? So they knew who the other one was. In your art project, it's a secret person that we've paired you up with, and we're not going to tell you who it is. So you and they are going to work back and forth, and you're going to get to know them a little bit better by what they draw, and they're going to get to know you better by what you draw. So it's like a partnership that way. Have you ever looked up at the clouds and able to see something, like you might see a rabbit or a tree or something like that? Yeah. You know what? If you can do that, you have what's known as creativity. And we get better at anything that we practice. If you want to get better at sports, if you like a sport that you're really into, you have to practice it to get better. If you want to play music, you got to practice it to get better. And if you want to get better at being creative, you have to create things. You have to imagine things, or you have to maybe compose a song or write a story. You have to do things that are creative. And I have an exercise today that is designed to help you become more creative, okay? The first three all have the same, not shape, but line on them. And we might add shapes to them, or we might turn them into shapes to make them look like something. That's one possibility. One idea is you might see this and you might think, if I look at it in just the right way, that kind of looks like a big nose, right? Could you see that as a big nose?
Yeah.
Let me show you some possibilities and then we'll all draw one that looks like a big nose. Here's one possibility. Here's another. And here's another. Notice, here's a little cartooning lesson for you, that the eyebrows are a really good way to tell if somebody's angry, surprised, or happy. The angle of those eyebrows tell you a lot about a person's expression. And so notice that all of them added big circles, a smile or an open mouth, and then the eyebrows. So if you'd like to, on this one here, let's turn it into a face. I'm going to turn a big eye, maybe put the little center of the eye in. And if I want it to be angry, remember, that's going to be eyebrows coming in. If I want to be more surprised, eyebrows, going up in the middle. Flat will be just kind of normal, natural looking. So I think I'm going to do maybe a kind of up a little bit, not super surprised. That'll be my eyebrows. The mouth also has a lot to do with the expression. If it's going down, like this one, it looks sad or angry, more surprised. I think I'll just do a regular smile. So on this guy here, I'm going to do a smile, maybe give him a little bit of a mouth there. That's going to be mine. Yours doesn't have to look exactly like mine, but I do want you to draw a face for this first one, just so you see how that could have been a face. Now you're really good at seeing things. You raised your hand and said I could see things in clouds, so I bet you that U line could be something else, right? In your mind, it might look not like a face at all. One possibility is something that holds liquid, like maybe a coffee cup, like this one, or a bowl of cereal maybe, or a pitcher of lemonade or something, right? So these are all different things that we could draw. The simplest one I can think of would be the bowl. I'll put a little spoon in the bowl like that, and maybe some liquid in the bowl. That's probably the simplest one that I could think of to draw. So if I want to put a handle on it, some of you might want to put a handle on your cup. That's okay too. That's one way to put a little handle on it. Because sometimes artists don't want it to look like a face. They don't want it to look like a cup. They want it to be shapes and colors and textures just by themselves. It's not supposed to look like anything, and that has a name in art. The name starts with an A, and the word is abstract. You say it. Abstract. If it doesn't look like anything, it wasn't meant to look like anything, it's just an abstract design of some kind. Now here's a few possibilities. This abstract design almost looks like fish scales, so I'm not sure if that's really abstract. This abstract design is pretty abstract. It just looks like a bunch of circles. And this one here, some people might see U's in it and diamonds in it, but it's just a pattern. It's meant to be abstract, okay? Is there one here that you'd like me to show you how to do? The U's, the O's. I heard somebody say the U's. Let me show you how I did the U's. So I made a U by extending this like that. You may copy me if you'd like to on this one, or make your own abstract design out of this U. But if you want to copy me, you can. So I'm just going to make another U just to repeat that pattern. Often abstract designs do a lot of repeating. So I just drew 3 U's facing up. And then I'm going to do 3 U's kind of facing down, like that, starting to repeat the pattern over and over again as a way to make an abstract design. I didn't want this to look like a bowl or a face or anything like that. Now you saw that the original had a few more U's in it. You might notice I just repeated the U's over and over again. That's a great way to make an abstract design. Just keep repeating the same pattern over and over. So if I do it again and again, it turns into a pattern, even though it doesn't really look like a real life object. And a lot of artists work this way. They don't really want it to look like a specific item in real life. They just want it to be a design. Now the other thing you might have noticed in that original was that there was some diamonds. Do you see where the diamonds could fit?
Yeah.
Right in here. I could fit a diamond in there, maybe another diamond in there, a diamond in here,
31.
and another diamond in there. Maybe a little triangle over on the side, triangle over on the side. So that's one way to make an abstract pattern, just by repeating the lines that are already there. So I'm going to give you a few minutes, maybe 5 or 6 minutes, to try to work on the bottom 9. Now you might not have time to do all of them. Some of them might really jump out at you like, oh, I see something right away. And others you might just make those abstract designs. That's okay. I don't want to show you mine yet. I've already done my 9 because I don't want to influence what you see in them. You can practice things with your finger. If you see, I wonder if I made a curve over there, if I made another zigzag. You can try things with your finger that, without putting it in pencil yet. So you have 9 here. You have 6 minutes to try and draw as many of them as you can. Do they have to look like something from the real world? No, it could be abstract. So instead of trying to make it look like something realistic, maybe I'll just turn that into an abstract design by continuing the pattern. And that's okay too. You don't have to make it look realistic or representational. This is a fun way to make art too, just make abstract patterns. It does, doesn't it? So have fun with seeing what you're seeing, and it doesn't have to look like anything from the real world. I want to show you the kinds of lines that make really good artwork. And you're going to help me because we're going to sort them into lines that are really good. And when I say good, they're simple, like the lines that you see on your page. And some of the lines I'm about to show you are not good. Sometimes they're too complicated, and there's another reason they might not be good too. As I put a shape up, I want you to point. Everybody lift up your finger, lift up your finger, lift up your finger, and point to the right-hand side of the classroom. That's pointing to not good. If it's on the good side, you point to the left side of the classroom. So if I show you something and you think it's good, where are you going to point? Show me.
Left.
Show me where you're going to point if it's good. That side. If you think it's really not good,
It's right side.
you got it. Here's the first one. What do you think?
That's right.
Point. Which way does this one go? I think almost everybody agrees that this one's pretty good. It's really simple. That's easy to see something in. Here's the next one. That's too complicated. That's really hard to see something in because it's just got so much going on. I'm not really sure what that is. It's a cool line, but it's not easy to find something in. Here's the next one. Are you ready? Don't point yet. But what about this one? See, I would say that this one, I can only see a flower in it. This one, maybe you saw a flower, maybe you saw something else, but this one here, the flower is pretty much the only thing it can be. That's leading your partner too much. I would put this one in not good. You've told them what you want it to be ahead of time. If you want it to maybe be a flower, draw that. And if they think it's a flower, they can continue it as a flower. But if they see this maybe as bunny rabbit ears or something else, they can do their own thing with it. So you don't want to lead them. I had one student who did this project and they drew like 99% of a cat. And the other person said, well, I guess they want me to do a cat. And that's not what this project is about. You're going to get a card, it's going to have your name on it, and down in the corner is going to be a secret code. Please leave the secret code alone, don't draw on it, don't do anything to it, don't erase it, because that is how I know how to get it back to you later, okay? And the sticky note, keep it, I need that as well. But what's going to happen is you're going to take the sticky note off of one of your cards. You get 2 cards, by the way. Can you see that that's a card on there? It's right here.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's right there. And what I want you to do is do this. I want you to think of a seed line. A seed line is a basic starting line like these. These are seed lines, right? They can grow into faces or noses or bowls of cereal, whatever. But a seed line is a very simple, basic line like we've been practicing. Now, what I want you to do is use your finger. Let's say you want to do a U shape, for example. Do you want it to use up very little space, like a tiny U?
Yeah.
Maybe. Do you want a really big U?
No.
You can practice with your fingers until you get just the right size. Do you want it to have a U that has a little wiggle in the middle?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can practice that with your fingers before you move to pencil. When you've practiced it a few times and you know exactly what your line's going to look like, then you can draw it in pencil, okay? Now when I say draw it in pencil, I mean lightly, okay? Now I'm going to pretend right now that you're going to get to see me and my secret partner, okay, working this through. Now if I was to draw this one for Prathna, and I said, Prathna, here's my secret line, okay, or my line. It goes to her secretly. We don't actually work next to each other. And she looks at that and she turns the paper around and she finally sees something that she likes in it. Ooh, maybe like that. Some people see a shark, but maybe she sees it a different way. It's all up to her what she sees.
A dolphin.
This is a good simple line because she can imagine different things. Is it like obvious that it's supposed to be something? No, it could be anything she wants it to be. Might be a star, shark, lots of things. Dolphin.
I already said dolphin.
Go ahead and draw as you see it. You can practice with your finger first. Okay. Oh, you're going to draw down there. This is kind of what you're imagining. Ooh, okay. Go ahead and draw it. With your pen. So you're going to draw down. This is going to be an abstract design. No. Keep going until we can kind of figure out what it's going to be. Let me do another one. Prathna, do you mind? Now, if I was to show this to Prathna and I said, okay, use your imagination, whatever you want, I want you to figure out what this is. Is this an easy one for her to figure out what it could be? No, that's not helpful to her. It's too complicated. It's like, I don't know. So I don't blame you for saying, I don't know about that. Okay, so you should have 2 cards. They have your secret code in the bottom, okay? Don't erase that secret code or you won't get your art back, okay? You have a sticky note. Take your sticky note off and put it somewhere where you won't lose it, maybe near the top of your desk. You can flip these over so that the secret code's on the back and nobody will see it, okay? And we start drawing with our practice pencil, and another name for our practice pencil is our finger, our pointer finger. And you're going to decide, okay, what kind of seed line do I want, right? You're using your practice pencil, which is to decide, do I want a curvy line? Do I want a spiky line? A zigzag? What kind of line? Not a shape yet. And where are you going to go with this? So remember, we did a whole bunch of them. All the ones on this page were nice and simple. These are the kind you want. These here, no, don't do that. That's not helpful to your friend. So try it, and when you're done, and you know how big it's going to be, how much space it's going to be, then you use your pencil to draw it.